scientists, we have this, we have that. Well, that is true. But they do not know either. Many things they can explain, and there's just as many things they cannot explain. They have no idea. But the problem therein lies. It seems like in the earth, in your world, the more educated people become, the more they lose the reality grip with who they are, with the world, and with nature. You have many talented, brilliant people in your world. But when they hit upon an idea, they think, oh, well, now look what this will do for everybody and how great it'll be. But they don't stop there and then back up and say, now, if we do this and do this, what will it do to this and this? What will the results be? What will the outcome be? In other words, it's like a child. You put in a candy store and say you can eat all you want. The child is delighted and says, oh boy, and starts eating everything in sight, all it can eat, all it can just keep eating and putting away, so to speak. The child doesn't stop and think and say, well, now, if I eat all this, am I going to be sick? What is it going to do to my body? What will be the benefits to me if I eat all this in here? There their thinking stops. And the amazing part is, people in your world that's supposed to be educated, brilliant, and know many, many things are no different than that child that was put in the candy store. Why? Because they invent this, they do that, and oh, what a wonderful breakthrough. But never once do they say, what effect is it going to have on mankind? What effect is it going to have on Mother Nature? What effect is it going to have on the universe? If you listen now, you'll hear, not too often, but once in a while, especially when they come back from outer space, oh my, all the junk up there floating around, you got to be careful you don't run into it. Did they not think that all these things through all these years had to go someplace? Same way in your world now with all these places they dump everything. Now here's the big ado about all these gases and about all this being ruined, about all this. Where's it going? It's going down into the earth, killing it, seeping off into the water tables. But oh, it was such a brilliant idea, and it was just wonderful. They just do all these good things for everybody. But nobody stopped and said, well, if it does this now, what's it going to do in another year, 10 years, 20 years? A man has to change his thinking. This world has become a world of easy and convenience. There's nobody in your world today much above all, but the big push is on now for everything green, as it's called. Now they want to correct this, do that. Don't use this, don't use that. It does this, it does that. Well, that's like taking a paper bag, filling it up with water, holding it up, and then all of a sudden, somewhere down the road, you realize that the water's seeping through the bag and it'll soon be empty. And you have a good old saying in your world, don't lock the barn after the horse is stolen. And that applies to your world today. There has to be serious thinking. There has to be people beginning to take the initiative, starting at home, on the very lowest level possible, and that's a humongous task, you might say, because you have people set in their ways, you have people that don't care, people anymore feel they just ought to sit there and everything be handed to them and they shouldn't have to do nothing for it. So you see, our work over here is getting harder and harder. No matter how hard we try to reach everyone, no matter how hard your forces and loved ones work, and all those that have crossed and been here, they're all working, trying to get everybody to think, to change, to use common sense, and to begin to take an interest in themselves and your world. And in some instances, bit by bit, they're gaining a little ground, but a lot of areas is still untouched. And no one's going to get anywhere by going around saying, oh, you got to do this, you have to do that, you can't do this, you can't do that, because you've already learned in your world. First rule of thumb, as soon as you say to someone, you can't do that, they're going to do it anyhow, just to show you they can do that, because they have that right. They have free will. So you have to be very careful how you word things, what you do, how you do it. You make subtle hints. You hint here, you hint there, and bring up a little suggestion here, very lightly there, and gradually it begins to work. But it does take time, a lot of time. But always remember, regardless of who or what you are, what's going on in your world, whatever it is that you need to do to live where you're at this point in time, you are the Father's child. You are love and light. You are one with the Father, Mother, God. You are one with the universe. You are one with each other. That will never stop, never cease, never be different. That is set in what you would say in your world, it's set in stone. So no matter how you might deny, no matter what you may do, that is the cardinal rule. You are one with the Father, Mother, God. You are one with the universe. And so no matter what you may think, what you may believe, no matter how much you try to discount anything, always remember, you are spirit inside of a physical body, and that'll never change. You have a positive side, you have a negative side, that'll never change. But you can change yourself. You can correct your thinking, you can correct your actions, you can correct many things about yourself. Your attitude, your thinking. Perhaps you might want to even change the way you appear sometimes. Wear different clothes, wear your hair different. Who knows? Doesn't matter. Because deep within, you're a child of God. You are physical, you are spiritual. There can be no denying, and no matter how hard you try, you cannot deny it. And so as you open your spiritual doors, as you take the Father by the hand and walk the path of light, there will be times that will be bitter. There will be times that will be very hard and trying. There will be times that will be very, very difficult. But the Father has promised you there is light at the end of the tunnel. The sun is shining, the roses are blooming. And you go within, open your doors, sit down, listen. Look around you. You'll see the most beautiful lights, the most quietest sounds you'll ever hear. And the music and the beauty, it'll flow through you, into you, and around you. But you have to enter the garden. You have to take yourself there. No one can give it to you. No one can hand it to you. No one can force you. You alone must walk in, sit down, open the gate to the garden and say, Father, here I am, come unto me. Child, and take my hand. I will lead you and guide you through the garden of life. All will be well. You will sustain and do what is needed of you. You will enjoy life, have a beautiful time. You will have good times, hard times. You will weep, you will laugh. You will know who you are, your child of love and light. And as you travel the path with me, all will be well. I shall love you, comfort you, take away your aches and pains, your miseries, and heal you from head to toe. But you must ask. You must reach out. You must want me. Thank you. God bless you all.